Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Well, hello everyone. I am Katie Petrick, joined as always by the David Fiorazo, and it's Monday, and so we're here live on Educated.
Welcome. Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Oh, it's noon Central Time.
Yeah. I live in Central Time. I don't know where you're living, and we don't know where you're living either. So let us know where you're living in the comments, and if you have any questions or comments you want to write, like, I don't know, go Pack Go, that would be cool. You could do that. Anyone who's a Dallas fan, well, what did you expect? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you're not a football fan, which is perfectly fine. But right now it's football time, so that's what we're going to talk about. We here around the water cooler. But for right now, we have things to talk about, such as David.
Yes.
What happened on Worldview Matters this morning?
Well, first, after irking some friends from Texas just now, let's go to the worldviewmatters.tv. And I talked with Pastor Dean Dwyer from Australia this morning. Great show. You may, if you follow Worldview Matters, you might remember he was in an accident. He was rear-ended. He was actually stopped at a light, and he was on a motorcycle. Rear-ended, he flew, broke his back. So he was out of commission for several months at the end of last year, but he's doing therapy, and so he's doing much better. But had a great conversation with Dean. So Dean Dwyer today. The website, again, worldviewmatters.tv, if you'd like to subscribe.
Not Dean Dwyer today.
Dean Dwyer.
Dean Dwyer today.
Yep.
You say that 10 times fast?
Dean Dwyer today. Today.
He said it one time. All right, well, let's head over to New York, where there's a New York high school that was forced to have students stay home. Not because of the blizzard that, like in Wisconsin, that we had, or because it's cold weather or anything for the students to stay home. It's because they needed to house 2,000 illegal immigrants at the school instead of the students being there to be educated, David. That's what happened, right? Did I get that pretty much accurate?
So the illegal immigrants are being transported, were from Brooklyn's Floyd Bennett Field to James Madison High School as the city braces tomorrow for a big storm. So we've seen this, though, in different parts of New York, and unfortunately, the students that are from the school, they have to learn online now. So they got to switch to remote learning, which we've seen learning. You got to put that in air quotes now, don't you, Katie?
Mm-hmm,
when you're talking about remote air quote learning, because that really didn't go so well since, the COVID-19 and 20 and 21 and 22. And anyway, so New York City officials, we got a video, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it. What's happening?
So they displaced 2,000 students at that school who don't come from the best economic situation. You're out, and we're going to move these migrants in.
That's right. The neighborhood that they transferred these migrants to is a minority location for the most part. For the kids who go to Madison High School, 63% come from economically disadvantaged homes, 52% are minorities. Taxpayer cost per student, and this is for every kid in New York City. Look at that. It costs $45,000 for every kid in New York City. What's interesting about the decision to go ahead and take, and you set it up perfectly, out at that former airstrip, that they have placed these tents, rather than drive the tents into the ground with stakes. They can't, because they're on a runway and they can't break the concrete. So what they did is they just used heavy stones and things like that. There was a storm on December the 18th, and apparently the wind gusts were up to 50 miles per hour, and bolts shook loose in the tents, and the migrants were horrified. And so that is why yesterday, exactly 24 hours from right now, Brian, the city said, all right, we're going to move them into this particular high school, and all those kids who go there normally will have to study remotely.
So, and this was last week. So I know that we just had a big storm. Was it Friday? Friday, Saturday.
Tuesday,
It was
Friday,
fun.
Saturday.
I got to use my snowblower for the first and second time of the winter. But anyway,
Got to use these.
yeah, we want to shout out to David from Ohio, Felicia from Indiana, James from New Jersey watching on Facebook Live. Also, Tammy, Shawnee, Oklahoma checking in at a blissful 10 degrees.
Oh.
Well, we have a degree here.
Oh, is it up to 1 now? It was
is-
this.
Yeah, it's one. Well, it might be a little warmer
Oh,
now.
Might be up to 2.
Might be
Look
2
at
or
us
3
go.
degrees here. But anyway, so it's cold. Katie, so I understand the dilemma. I just don't agree with, and then hi, Victoria from Michigan. I don't agree with kicking out students that are supposed to be going to school.
Correct. As we've noticed with all of these things that have happened over the past decades at this point, but it's really been ever since COVID-19, really been put on the front burner of how our students, our children, are the ones who we're putting out on the front lines. Like, they are the ones being attacked first with everything. They are the ones who are losing out on the opportunities that they should be given as citizens of this country. And this is an example. The kids weren't allowed to go to school for COVID-19. Now they're not allowed to go to school because the illegal immigrants have to take over the school. How is this allowed to happen? And even taxpayers are, because this is a public school system, you heard it in the video, every student costs about $45,000. How is it that our students, who the taxpayers are paying for to have their butts in the seats, how is it that they are the ones who are getting kicked out of the school so that illegal immigrants can go into the school? And I'm telling you right now, David.
That is a good question.
I'm putting my finger on it right now.
Yes.
This is not a couple night occurrence. They are going to see, oh, people were kind of mad. Oh, Fox News sounded off. Who cares? No one seemed to really get too upset.
So
we're going to do this again.
You think we'll see more of this, you're saying?
It's going to happen this spring, but it's Easter break. Wait, public school system. Spring break. Not allowed to call it Easter break.
Yep.
And then this summer, get ready. This summer, I guarantee that they will have illegal immigrants being housed in school gymnasiums over the summer break. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah, we have, of course, chaos at the southern border. We have some problems here now in America. Yeah, so can we talk about how parents responded? So parents are sounding off on this decision to move thousands of what did he called them migrants? What's the difference between a migrant and an illegal immigrant? Anyway, in this high school gym, by the way, the gym teacher said, yeah, they just told us we had to be out by 5 p.m. So he has stuff in the gym. Okay, so parents gathered outside of James Madison High School, this is last week, to express their outrage. Again, 2,000 illegal immigrants were transported to school. And this is another video. We're going to watch this and come back and talk about this one.
Outraged parents and some Midwood community members argued students' classes at James Madison High School should never have been moved online to make room for migrants to temporarily shelter in their gym and auditorium during Tuesday night's storm.
What I'm talking about, the human issue here.
It's inexcusable to do this to the students of New York City high schools, especially after all they've been through with COVID.
They have to come up with another solution. They cannot do this to the school kids.
Parents told us they were surprised when they were notified Tuesday their students would learn remote Wednesday. They were even less impressed when they said some online classes never even happened.
My son walked off for the first period. The teacher didn't even show up to the link. He waited for the second period. No teacher.
I like that it's happening in New York because New York was their accent just gets me. They're just like, they tell how it is. Well, my kid showed up first period, didn't have it, then after second period, and we all done. What ifs?
Whatever. Hey,
What
so
ifs?
I want to shout out to Tom from Louisiana and Deborah. This is unacceptable, she says. Ginny from Denver, Colorado, -5.
Burr.
Yeah, Victoria,
Tom's
Judy
in Louisiana.
chimed in. Yeah, well, so I just want to
Nice.
thank you for watching on Facebook Live. But this is something we believe we're going to see more of in different parts of the country because our producer said it was very, very difficult to find a story or a video that was negative, that had parents, sounding off like you just saw. All the stories pretty much were positive, saying, oh, we're glad we're helping the illegal immigrants. Oh, that's a good idea. So we are apparently in the minority when it comes to this. Don't you think, Katie? minority?
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah.
Unless, well, we don't know how many people actually are aware of the story, and then we don't know how many people are just simply aren't speaking up. That's a problem in this former republic under God, the lack of engagement, and especially when it comes to Christians and conservatives. We tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. We don't speak up, but boy, are we paying for that now in different ways. Hi to Sue in California, watching. Thank you.
Nice.
So should we move on, or did you want?
Oh no! Well, I want to hear.
Else?
I want to hear from the mayor, because
Oh,
the
that's
mayor
right.
has some good ideas. Not
That's
Mayor
right.
Eric Adams, who was, hey, we need a mayor who's going to represent us here. Bill de Blasio. Yeah, he had a black lesbian wife or whatnot. He's not. he's sort of on our side here with the DEI stuff, but we need someone representing us. So who do they put in there? Even more radical, Eric Adams. And he put out a tweet on X or whatnot saying, on the ground at James Madison High School, our emergency management and health system and the New York schools teams are doing a great job keeping asylum seekers safe and dry before they depart tomorrow morning. Oh, look at that. So nice. We're all so happy. Meanwhile, they don't show the picture of all the children who have been abandoned for their educational rights. Who needs an education? We're just bringing in all the illegal immigrants to handle this. We've checked, though, right, with all of the immigrants, like, they're up to date on all their vaccines, right?
No,
and
no.
Everyone's law abiding.
No.
There's no violence that could potentially happen. I mean, we're putting...
Yes.
We're not bringing any drugs or any
Yes.
illegal substances or anything in,
Yes.
right? Because we're just going to house them in a school where young children normally are. So we don't have to worry about anything bad
What could go wrong?
happening, right?
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Our tax dollars. Say that again.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what we have going on here. And it's absolutely asinine that this is being allowed to happen. But hey, Mayor Eric Adams is at the helm.
So is there a plan to start paying people to house illegal immigrants in their homes?
You betcha, because that's Eric Adams.
We do have that. Let's watch.
It is my vision to take the next step to this, to go to the faith-based locales, and then move to private residents. There are residents who are suffering right now because of economic challenges. They have spare rooms, they have locales, and if we can find a way to get over the 30-day rule and other rules that government has in its place, we can take that $4.2 billion, 4.3 even maybe now, that we potentially will have to spend, and we can put it back in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers, everyday houses of worship, instead of putting it in the pockets of corporations.
We are so diverse that we have nothing but bald men standing there telling us what's going to happen. That's all I saw when I looked. I'm like, oh, a bunch of bald men.
You're
Okay,
stereotyping Democrats because they were all Democrats. Anyway,
That's true, I did.
So this is something that I don't think a lot of people are going to go with. You're going to have a stranger. Yeah, sure, I'll house someone from another country. And by the way, the pictures that the left tends to avoid are all those massive throngs of young men in their 20s, 20s, 30s. Where are the women and girls? Anyway, so that's a problem coming across the border. But no one says a lot about that and where these people end up. But the left plans on them voting leftist, Democrat.
So here's
that's the plan.
But here's my question. If every student in New York costs $45,000 and these kids are by the taxpayers have to pay $45,000 and those kids are getting kicked out, does that mean then, because if you're taking one of those illegal immigrants then into your house, as Mayor Eric Adams says, do I get $45,000? And am I supposed to welcome said immigrant? Here, you can sleep in the same room as my 3-year-old daughter, illegal immigrant who I've never ever met before, and you have no papers, I have no understanding of who you are or what you may have done or what kind of a person you are. But hey, come on in. It's New York. And people will fall for it. Democrats will fall for it. They'll be like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
No, they tend to push off their policies on other people but don't want to follow them themselves. But that's for another story. Still to come, students paying to attend Ohio State University are forced to address their whiteness and heterosexual privileges in a health class offered by the school. Just wait till you see the assignments back in 30 seconds.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
Well, before we get to our next story, we just have to address Peggy's lovely comment. She asks on Facebook, how many immigrants is the mayor going to house in his house? Asking for a friend. You know, Peggy, great question. I wish I could tell you. Oh, wait, I can tell you. 0. The answer is 0. He will not be housing any. 0. Remember what happened when the whole illegal immigrants coming across the border and immigrants got shipped over to Kamala Harris's compound, and she just went on TV and whined about it. So that tells you all you need to know.
It's good for other people, not good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just another reason why the homeschooling movement is skyrocketing. So there are some good things to come out of this insanity. But
that is correct. All right, well, let's turn our attention to the Ohio State University.
Okay.
It's not so special as the university that's doing all the gender and race baiting. Okay. That's what they're doing. Yeah. It's just one of the latest universities to add more nonsense. I just want to say the really loudly because that's how anyone who I've ever met from Ohio who's attended or likes Ohio State University, you can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it's always the Ohio State. All right. Well, they are one of the latest universities to add the nonsense, and it's in their health and sciences program being offered at the Ohio State University. They're requiring those who sign up for this health sciences course to take part in an array of discussions and assignments about gender and race, because that's what you do in health sciences. It's all about gender and race, including one that asks students to address their privileges if they are white, heterosexual, or able-bodied. If you're able-bodied, you got that privilege. So, the fall online course is called Individual Differences in Patient-Client Populations. It's offered through the university's School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences, and it's a recipient of the school's Affordable Learning Exchange grant.
What?
Yeah, so they're offering this because they got a grant, and the grant says it awards grants to instructors who want to transform their courses using open and affordable materials. So we are having grant programs now being like, hey, you want some money, all you people at these universities? Adjust your course, fiddle-faddle with it to make it what our politics align with, and then we'll give you money for it.
Yep.
That's how they convince them every time, and it's working. So the Affordable Learning Exchange grant, one of the required class assignments is titled Unpack the Invisible Knapsack.
What the heck? What does that mean?
I forgot to say white privilege,
What does that mean?
Unpacking the Invisible. It's by Peggy McIntosh. And if you've heard of Peggy McIntosh, well, this is what she has done. This was a 1989 essay called White Privilege, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack, okay? So the assignment is going off of this. This was back, again, 1989. It's not new. Peggy McIntosh, feminist scholar and anti-racist activist. So
okay. That explains some of it.
I would say she's an OG, but there have been others, but she's like OG compared to today, who everyone is just out there now. So if you are in this course, the Unpack the Invisible Knapsack assignment asks students to complete a series of activities about their privilege. Where have I seen this before? Every university out there.
Yeah.
3 activities were listed on the document for students to select. The white privilege knapsack, the heterosexual privilege knapsack, and the able-bodied privilege knapsack. Is knapsack also, are we allowed to even say knapsack? Is that somehow,
Knapsack.
I'm sure, racist,
I'm sure there's
sexist,
something wrong with that.
Able-bodied about it? If you have like a back and you can put it on that back, then that's able-bodied of sorts.
So,
I'm guessing.
So if
guessing.
Let's just set aside for the moment the white part of the privilege and just talk about heterosexual. Isn't that the norm, and isn't that the overwhelming majority of the country? And so let's just say the LGBT, let's give them 4% of the population. That's high. but it's probably not. But anyway, let's just give them 4%. Does that mean 96% of the population has privilege according to
Absolutely.
the university system?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So
right.
that's why you must bow down with your knapsack.
Bow down.
Yeah. So in the documents for this course, they have a lot of documents that have excerpts from our friend Peggy McIntosh. And they have a lot of different statements in there as well. Some of these are statements from the work. They attempted to prove that white privilege does in fact exist, and they were featured in the course document. One that stated that whiteness protected me from many kinds of hostility, distress, and violence, which I was being subtly trained to visit in turn upon people of color. Is that true, David? According to them, that's true. Now, regarding the assignment, students were asked to write a reflection and consider how this differs or does not differ, but they're probably supposed to say differ, from how you framed your relative privilege before, what you can do with the amount of privilege that you do have, and how things would be different if you had more privilege. They crazy, but that's what we are. Also, here are the 10 things, as we already indicated, that everyone should know about race. As you can see them. Some of these ideas included the idea that race is a modern idea. Race has no genetic basics, and race is not biological, but racism is real. Let's see. Pick a number, 1 through 10, David. We'll read it.
7.
Woohoo! When I am told about our national heritage or about civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is. Is that true? Is it?
So you get the Puritans and the separatists, and you've got the Native Americans, some that were working with the Pilgrims. And so, yeah, there's a mixture there, but people of my color made it what it is. I don't understand if it's true.
It doesn't matter. If it's there, if it's true, if it's not true, if it's there,
it
it's
doesn't
bad.
matter. It just
It's
doesn't
bad.
matter.
That's exactly. But the best part of this whole thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that there was a response about this once this story came out from the university. There's Ben Johnson, who is a spokesperson for the university. He said that Ohio State believes in academic freedom and freedom of expression, including the free exchange of ideas by students and instructors. The university seeks to foster and maintain a campus environment where all viewpoints are welcome and respected.
Well, really,
Is
all
that
viewpoints.
not the most canned answer out of a university official that I've ever read?
It's just not simply
The
not
most
true.
canned.
It's not true. All viewpoints are no longer welcome on college campuses. I mean, the biblical worldview was kicked out, many, many, many decades ago. Now you've got, if you're conservative, Christian, sometimes if you're Jewish, there are some viewpoints that are not welcome. If you are against the transgender surgeries for minors, you are not welcome to share that. So that's a viewpoint you cannot speak out loud, right?
Correct.
So all viewpoints are not. So it's a lie in that stinking statement.
You bet it is. But you know what we have coming up?
What do we have coming up?
Things that are made up, but actually are more truthful than what Ben Johnson just said.
Must
it's
be
the
the bee.
latest Babylon Bee headlines, and we're going to discuss. And we want to see which one you think is the best. Doesn't matter because whatever I say is what is the best, but you can still pick. So stay tuned.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
All right, friends, let's now take a look at everyone's favorite satire site, the Babylon Bee.
Here are this week's top 5 Babylon Bee headlines.
Okay, as always on this live show, wherever you're watching, we invite you to vote. We've picked our favorite headlines, and so you help us decide which one should be named numero uno, Queen of the Hive. Let's start with number 1. MAGA is a cult, says party doing chants for politician inside church. Number 2. Corinne Jean-Pierre says Biden has done more to preserve democracy than any other dictator in history. Number 3, Chris Christie suspends campaign to spend more time with family-sized 12-piece chicken meal from KFC. Number 4, Boeing CEO assures nervous flyers that all 737 aircraft are built to the highest diversity standards. And finally, number 5, and please vote on your favorite. We'll put these up again. Alaska Airlines adds new Scenic View seat for $30 upgrade fee.
Oh.
All right, friends.
Man.
So vote for your favorite. Number 1, the MAGA is a cult, party doing chants inside church. And the KJP says Biden has done more to preserve democracy than any other dictator. Chris Christie going for the 12-piece chicken meal from KFC. What about Boeing CEO assuring nervous flyers that all 737 aircraft built to the highest DEI, diversity standards? And Alaska Airlines adding the new Scenic View seat for $30. Upgrade. So Katie, let's get yours, and then we'll look at Sue says number 4. Sue Hawkins on Facebook Live. Number 4, she goes with that one, and we've got to vote for 6. David made up. David from Ohio. All of the above. We should actually put that as an option because sometimes they're really hard
to choose
to pick the best.
I feel like
one.
3 and 5 are kind of the most like tongue in cheek, kind of like just innocent.
Tom
ones.
goes for number 3.
I'm
going for the Boeing CEO.
I was thinking number 4. Is that the CEO?
The Boeing CEO. Yep. I think we both would probably lean toward that one because we talk so much about DEI.
All the
diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is a Marxist cult, by the way.
And the thing about this is I bet they were built to the highest diversity standards. I don't even think this is a Babylon Bee headline of like, haha, satire. This is like, nope. I bet they were, up until 2 seconds ago, very proud of their DEI.
Yep.
Boeing, good
say
for
number
us.
4.
And then,
Christine says number 4. Felicia votes number 2. You can still put in your votes, but we've got to wrap up our top headlines of the week. More satire next time, Katie.
Excellent. I'm gonna have to rethink on some of those too, though, because there's a lot of good ones.
I like the Biden and democracy better than dictators. That's a good one too.
Anytime KJP gets
I think that was number 2.
She is just. You want to see me go down a rabbit hole tangent and get all mad? Talk about her.
It's astounding.
But instead, we're going to wrap up Educated.
Yeah.
We are going to wrap it up. But first, if you enjoy our content, please consider subscribing to the audio podcast and the Friday media email, which contains all of the top stories of the week. It's just one email. Simply go to stayeducated.org to get signed up for that. Now, for David and myself, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting what we do. Until next time, stay educated.